One of the first things I tell my students is that safety is one of the #1 issues in our laboratory, and having a safe work environment is crucial. Without understanding what incidents are happening, we can't prevent them in the future. And that's crucial because accidents do happen. That's why they're called accidents. But an understanding of why they happened and the circumstances that led to them is key to actually preventing them in the future. My name is Mahesh Mahanthappa. I'm a faculty member in the Department of Chemical Engineering and Materials Science. So one afternoon at the end of the day, I was pulling some glassware out of a base bath. And the base bath that I was working with was in a 5-gallon paint pail. When I reached in, wearing my lab coat and appropriate lawn flocked gloves to grab a 1-liter flask from that base bath, it slipped out of my hands and it splashed. And it splashed so violently that the base bath solution splashed onto my face. And it trickled down between my safety glasses and my face into my eyes. And at that moment, I was screaming for help. But no one came quickly, so I needed to find my way to the eye wash. I successfully, because I knew my lab so well, successfully was able to get to the eye wash within 20 seconds and begin to flush my eyes, at which point my lab mates were able to come running and help me keep my eyes open and flush my eyes for the mandatory 20 minutes after an incident. A visit to the emergency room and a visit to an ophthalmologist, the eye doctor was able to diagnose no change in my vision and no lasting impacts of the incident. However, accidents really are the unexpected, and I think this incident to me also reinforced the idea that you can't work safely alone in a laboratory. You have to have someone around who can aid you, at least roughly knows what you're doing, and can either call 911 or put you in the safety shower or put you in the eye wash if you need it. This led to our reevaluation of how we set up our base baths. We started using containers that were relatively low, relatively shallow, I should say, so that that would mitigate the splash hazard. I actually give my students a posting that's called Asking What If. And it asks a student, when they're setting up a reaction from the get-go, to ask, what if the flask breaks? What if the cooling fails? What if the reaction develops pressure and that pressure causes a seal to break? It's a list of about 10 different what-if questions to ask yourself about a process that you're about to undertake. That idea of asking what if, I think, is crucial because it applies to everything that we do, whether you're working in a glove box, whether you're working with an analytical instrument, whether you're working with simply something that's hot. The only thing I can say is safety is never really a joking matter. Safety is really important. It's something we all need to think about on a daily basis whenever we go into a laboratory and whenever we encounter a situation that's unfamiliar. Safety comes down to things like the first time you're in a room. Take note of where the emergency exits are. Take note of where you're supposed to go if there is a building-wide emergency, where you would be accounted for. So safety goes beyond the laboratory, actually, in many dimensions, and is something that we all need to be cognizant of, and something we need to help one another understand.